Did they know how she had been killed?
We find out she's been shot multiple times in this van.
Couldn't believe it happened. You never think that's going to happen to people that you care about.
She is handcuffed in the front passenger area of the van. And at the time, we're wondering, who is this? You can't really see the body very well at all, but you've just got this bizarre stage scene.
I couldn't process it at first. Couldn't believe it happened.
What do you think it was that set him off?
She said, "I'm done with this relationship. It's over." And he couldn't take that.
Hi, I'm Nancy O'Dell. Today's Crime Exposé takes us to Colorado Springs. A wife and mother of 4 disappeared, leaving her children alone and terrified. When police found her body, they were struck by the monstrous way she was killed. Her murder was the work of a killer who wanted to control her, even in her death. Colorado Springs, Colorado. 33-year-old Julie Tureson, a mother of 4, was raising her kids and working as a personal trainer. Brought up as a Mormon, her church and family were everything to Julie.
Julie was a mom. She had 4 kids that she was raising. She was a single mom at that time. She was living in kind of a semi-rural area of the community.
And everybody knew everybody, and Julie was the new girl in town.
Julie was on her own and enjoying her independence. She had been raised in a military family, and her early years were nomadic.
Julie moved a lot. She was an Army brat. She had friends everywhere she went. When she lived here, she had a big circle of girlfriends that everybody looked out for each other. They were always on the phone, or a phone call away.
Julie's decade-long marriage was ending, and she was raising their children alone. She began to date other men, using the dating sites Tinder and Ashley Madison.
She was married at the time that she met James Wu, and he was married also. Shortly after she met James, he divorced and was then a single mom. It was a long-distance relationship. He was constantly flying out here from San Francisco, coming to see her. And they go on some spectacular vacation to a ski resort or something like that. He would lavishly spend money on some of the women that he was dating.
Julie and James Wu continued to date others during their volatile relationship. They'd break up only to be pulled back together again. During one of their breakups, Julie and her children enjoyed a quiet evening together.
She puts her kids to bed the way she usually does. They read together. Her oldest son recalls hearing the garage door open and close in the middle of the night. The oldest son then wakes up in the morning and mom's not there. He's immediately in a panic. He just thinks this is terrible. Mom's never not been there when she's supposed to be there. He immediately calls 911. The sheriff's deputy, she came in and immediately started investigating the case under their new protocol instead of waiting for 24 hours. One of the things she wants to do is ping Julie's phone to see if she can find out where she is. Julie actually at this point has 2 phones. And within that week of her going missing, they are able to ping that new phone. It shows up to be in a storage locker on Platt Avenue in the middle of Colorado Springs. The sheriff's department responded and knew exactly which storage locker. You could drive a car and do it. It was that big. The sheriff's department then literally broke in. But once they get inside, they find Julie's van. All around the van are bowls of vinegar. The passenger side window has been shot out and it's been duct taped back on it. You look in and you don't really see anything at first, and then you realize there's a body in there. Oh my God, there's a body in here, and it's covered with baking soda. She is handcuffed in the front passenger area of the van. And at the time, we're wondering, who is this? And you can tell that whoever's in there is deceased. And we find out she's been shot multiple times in this van. And it actually takes a while before the coroner gets there to where you can actually see that it's Julie.
It was a grisly scene right out of a horror film. It appeared as if the killer was trying to preserve Julie in a mummified state.
I've never seen anything this bizarre before, to where even the sheriff's deputies are scratching their heads saying, what's this vinegar around here? What's this baking soda? And whoever shoots her over and over and over again most likely did it in the van, because she's right there in the van. And of course, we're thinking, well, this has got to be Julie. I mean, we're pinging her phone here. This is her van. You can't really see the body very well at all, but you've just got this bizarre stage scene in terms of what's happening.
Through fingerprints, police confirmed the identification. The body was that of Julie Tureson. The next question was, who had rented the storage locker? Of course, you need to find that out. So what was the name on the unit?
They have the name James Wu. They're able to run him in databases very quickly. And bingo, they find out he's got an airline ticket to Hong Kong. His airline ticket is flying out of DIA. And quite frankly, if he gets in the air on that plane going to Hong Kong, he's considered in international territory, and he easily makes it to Hong Kong. He quickly gets on his flight to Seattle, and he's able to get to the Seattle airport. He's literally getting ready to get on the plane. Frankly, he thinks he's made it. He's gone through the ticketing. He's starting to walk down the jetway to get on the plane when an undercover Seattle police officer gets in behind him, and an officer in uniform is waiting for him at the bottom, and they arrest him just before he steps onto that plane.
James Wu, Julie's estranged on-again, off-again lover, almost escaped the long arm of the law, but almost didn't count. He was in custody. Julie Tureson had been murdered, and police suspected the killer was someone she had met on a dating site. They were now starting to build a case against the man who they believed killed her. Circumstantial evidence pointed to James Wu, but an autopsy might fill in the how and why.
We find out from the autopsy she was shot multiple times. It looks like she's been handcuffed to her car, probably forced to drive to that location. And whoever shoots her over and over and over again most likely did it in the van, because she's right there in the van, and probably one of the shots goes through the window.
The news went public that Julie Tureson had been murdered. Friends and family were devastated. Travis Richmond, her first husband when she was 19 years old, got the news from Julie's second husband.
Right away he said, "Did you hear about Julie?" He sent me a link to a news story. I couldn't process it at first. Couldn't believe it happened. You never think that's going to happen to people that you care about.
Investigators pieced together Julie and John Wu's rocky relationship.
He became, I think, very domineering and controlling in the relationship. He tied into her phone and could monitor everything she was doing on her phone. If he saw her texting a man, then yes, he would immediately respond in a jealous way. So it became a relationship where he was very much controlling and dominant in it. I think it's at the very least a narcissist. He thinks he's smarter than everybody else, smarter than the people who are going to be looking for him. He has money. He's using drugs, which certainly can make you, I think, paranoid, and thinks he owns and controls Julie. She belonged to him from his perspective. And now she said, "I'm done with this relationship. It's over." And he couldn't take that. He still saw that I'm in control. I own you. You belong to me. And if I can't have you, nobody else. That's my speculation.
The more police learned about Wu and Julie's relationship, the more convinced they were that he was the killer.
Julie and he had broken up just a couple weeks before. He clearly starts planning this homicide at some point because he moves money from the United States to Hong Kong, $300,000. He actually has a storage locker in Denver, so he flies into Denver. He has already bought his tickets for his getaway. His plan is to go down, kidnap her from her house, kill her, put her body in the storage locker, put vinegar and baking soda, which prevents people from smelling a body, which gives him maybe a couple days to get away. He then gets an Uber from the murder scene back to her house to get his car, drives up to Denver, and then he's on his way to Hong Kong. Myself and two other prosecutors were putting this case together. We go over to look at the evidence, And one of the things that struck me when we looked at the duct tape, Wu had used medical gloves to prevent his fingerprints from showing up on things, but he made a mistake. When he shot out the window, he had to duct tape the window. When we looked at that tape, you could see pieces of rubber glove all over that we sent for DNA testing, and sure enough, it was James Wu's DNA that was on those pieces that were on the duct tape. He's left a trail all behind him. So he doesn't seem to be concerned about some of the trail. What he didn't plan on is the sheriff's department acting that quickly on a missing person.
And when Julie was found in the unit, I'm sure that there was other evidence. What did you find, and was there any value to it?
As we're looking at the case, we noticed that he has duct tape, Walmart bag, he's got vinegar, he's got baking soda. What I didn't realize is you can contact Walmart and they can actually put in the items that were bought and see if in fact that was bought at a particular store. And sure enough, bingo, just 2 blocks from the homicide scene, somebody had bought those items just before this homicide. So we've got him checking out with several bottles of vinegar, duct tape, and baking soda.
Collectively, the evidence tied James Wu to the storage unit, the items found around her body, and his travel to the airport.
Because when you look at things, he's on videotape buying the stuff. He's on videotape renting the storage locker. He takes an Uber from the murder location back to Tureson's house to get him back to his rental car where he's kidnapped her from. We don't really know what James Wu's thinking. I guess we can all kind of look at the evidence and see what the evidence suggests.
The suave and wealthy computer wizard who charmed multiple women on dating sites was arrested for Julie Tureson's murder. Police had a motive and evidence connecting James Wu to her death, and Wu would now have to answer for what he did. As the murder trial of James Wu began, Julie Tureson's family and former husband tried to make sense of the brutal way that she was killed. It was as senseless as it was undeserved.
I'm pretty sure everybody in town was taken back. I hoped for justice, and I hoped that we were able to do right by Julie. She didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve any of that, man. She was a magnetic personality, and I'm sure that's why he was there.
A lot of people were following the case. It was one that garnered a lot of publicity. Here's a single mom raising 4 kids, found murdered in a bizarre setting. It was a very sad case.
So what was Julie's family like as the trial began?
I got to meet her oldest, just a sweet kid. Quite frankly, I thought the defense in their opening statement wanted to portray Julie as not a nice person in certain ways. And her son he got up there and he loved his mom. He told what it was in their family, that they read the Bible, they read books together, they sang. She was just kind of a normal mom taking care of 4 kids. I do know it destroyed that family. She cared about all 4 of those kids. And all of a sudden there's no mom. And she was the one looking out for them. It was devastating to those kids and devastating to that family. Dad, was just crushed. Nobody ever thinks their loved one's going to get murdered, but it had a huge impact on those kids.
Now facing a judge, a jury, and Julie's family for what he did, James Wu was unbowed and defiant.
James Wu in the courtroom was pretty emotionless, had an arrogant air about him, pretty stoic throughout the trial, but that's the general impression that I had of him.
Compounding Wu's displays in court were those of his lawyer. The attorney had previously represented Casey Anthony and Aaron Hernandez at their murder trials and won acquittals both times.
The defense attorney is Jose Baez. Jose is a very aggressive attorney. He made at least 4 motions during the trial to kick me off the case for mistrial. He came over and banged on my desk during his closing argument right in front of my face, trying to get some sort of reaction out of me. So the defense attorney was the one that's very aggressive.
During the trial, the defense subpoenaed emails from the Ashley Madison dating site where Julie and Wu had met. But the data showing communication between the victim and Wu had been deleted. It was one of many blows to the defense.
I think The things that convict him are the video of him renting a storage locker that he's the only one in the world that has the key to it. That's pretty dramatic when that's where the dead body is found. They see him on video at Walmart buying all the things that are in the storage locker. You have a video of him walking around the parking lot at night going from trash dump to trash dump to trash dump as he's trying to get rid of evidence, which we actually find some of it.
Perhaps the most damning evidence against Wu came from the storage unit where Julie was found.
The DNA evidence of his DNA on the rubber gloves that are found at the crime scene, I think was devastating for them. And the expert witness did a fabulous job in cross-examination that even emphasized it more.
James Wu, the control freak, the master manipulator, was exposed to the world for what he is. And this seemed to bother Wu more than the evidence of murder.
What was different about James Wu than any other murderer had was this warped sense of the world that he had developed for himself and the people he was pulling into it, like Julie. He absolutely thinks he's going to get away with this horrific murder, that he's got this perfect plan, that he's smarter than the police and the prosecutors, and he's smarter than Julie.
Finally, the case went to the jury. They, not James Wu, would now decide how the trial would end.
Literally 18 minutes into their deliberation, they sound the alarm that they have a verdict. That's just unheard of. I've never had a murder trial with a verdict that fast. Then they bring the defendant in, and the jury comes back guilty of first-degree murder. The judge decides to go to immediate sentencing.
Wu was seething, seeing his fate decided by others.
Julie's dad is up telling the judge about Julie. All of a sudden, Wu starts screaming things about the dad and about Julie and saying, "I just want out of here." And the judge yells, "You're going to sit right there and you're going to listen to this." He clearly wanted to get out of there and was being extremely disrespectful to both Julie and her dad. But the judge made him sit there as the sentence was given to him of life without the possibility of parole.
It was some form of justice for the family and friends who loved Julie Tureson.
I was looking at pictures today with my mother, recalling the time that she was living with us all in our house. I had a picture of us swimming in a backyard pool, and she just had her arms wrapped around my leg. You know, we were both smiling for the camera. Julie always wanted a family. She always wanted children. She always wanted to be a mother. She had big dreams and a lot to say about them.
Following his conviction for first-degree murder of Julie Tureson, James Wu sued the state of Colorado. He wanted items taken during his arrest returned to him. And Wu also sued his own attorney for fees charged for representing him. Both cases were dismissed and his appeals denied. And now it's time for today's Safety Spotlight. Rarely does someone suspect their partner is capable of violence, but there is a close link between jealousy and violence. A national study found that 79% of abusers in intimate partner homicides were violently jealous. It is important that you watch out for the signs. If your partner is controlling, monitoring your movement, isolating you from your friends and family, or threatening you, realize these are red flags and you need to reach out for help. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE for guidance and advice. I'm Nancy O'Dell. For all of us here at Crime Exposé, please join us next time and stay safe.